Good Thursday evening, everyone. It's the February 9th already. And we're gonna go over short range here. We've had this low pressure, I'm telling you, it keeps diving south. Models are not doing well with this. They're still all over the place. And then we're going to look at the Carolinas for this weekend, go into more detail on that. And then I'm just going to give you a first warning probably next week, Monday, Tuesday next week. Very heavy rain coming into the same areas that got heavy rain this week. And I think severe or some bad flooding could start happening next week, and then a severe weather outbreak possible next week as well. So we have a lot to unpack for you. So let's get into it. All right, as you can see, we're going to go to the hazard map here. See that it's a lot more quiet today than it was this time last night. The only real thing is there's winter weather advisories and warnings all the way up here in the Northeast, in Maine, into Vermont, New Hampshire, and across Michigan here. And then residual flood warnings basically across the rivers in Arkansas, and then down through Mississippi and Louisiana as well. Okay. Now, you also notice there's no winter weather advisories, winter weather warnings, or anything across Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri tonight into tomorrow. There's still a ton of uncertainty in this. This track is coming a lot farther south. I'm going to show you that here in just a minute on water vapor. And then it's going to come, I think, this time last night, it was coming from Colorado, then going to skirt across the panhandles here and basically go like this to central Arkansas. Now it's just basically, it keeps digging south, and then it's going to come across Texas and basically just kind of cut down through Louisiana. Now, this is very cold core, low pressure, upper level low that's coming through. A lot of energy. So I think there's going to be some surprises out there, but this forecast is going to be it's going to be so localized. It's going to be hard to throw accumulation map out there. So basically going to call this a boom or bust. So if you see snow, congratulations, boom for you. If you don't see snow, it's an absolute bust. Okay, so it's feast or famine on this storm system. Okay. But we have a lot of winter left, and I'm going to go over that in the long range in the supporter hub later tonight. Okay. All right. I want to show you where this storm system's at on the water vapor. This is last night's storm system coming through the region, and then as you can see, here's the next disturbance coming down, and then you can see where this twisting is happening. That's where the upper level low is. And then look at it, it just keeps on diving south. Models last night were taking it down to right around the Colorado, New Mexico border, and then starting to kick it out. Now tonight, this thing keeps diving south, and it's still kind of diving south. It's still diving south across New Mexico. So, and it's finally at the end here, it's finally starting to kick out. Here. So the track is going to be a lot further south than this time last night. I'll be honest, if that track was still 130, 140 miles north like it was last night, the higher terrain of the Ozarks probably would have got 4+ inches of snow across the, especially above 1,500 feet or so, probably 4 to 5 inches at least. If that happened, and of course lower the elevation is probably like a 1 to 3 around that into the Ozarks, Ouachitas as well. So now it's further south. It's basically gonna be a wait and see game. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. So I'm not throwing out accumulations. I just think there's going to be too localized. 5 miles away, it could be raining. 5 miles. You can get up in elevation just a little bit, 5 miles away, and then you might get some snow out of it. It's just going to be a wait and see. Somebody's going to get surprised and somebody's not. So we're looking at the 500 millibar heights and vortices You see, look at all this energy. I mean, tons of energy coming in with this, and then just bowling its way across Texas into. This keeps on digging further south, and then it's going to end up probably towards the Gulf of Mexico as we get into Saturday. We'll look at some global models here for the east here in just a second, but a lot of energy with this. I think most people will get rain. You might see some snowflakes mixed in at times. As you get in elevations, especially across the Wachitas, I think you might have a decent chance of maybe a little bit of accumulations there. And I'm going to show you that here. Let's go here. So here's a reflectivity type. And you can see a little bit of energy right here that's going to squeeze out some snow across southern Missouri. Might be some snow or flurries across northwest Arkansas, and then as you can see here, mostly rain. This is noon tomorrow, by the way. Let me zoom in closer for you all if I can. All right, so you can see, look at see where the higher elevations here, very highest elevations up here, the Wachitas, probably like Mount Magazine, stuff like that. That's up in here. You'll get some snow, but if you get under, 1,000 to 1,500 feet, you're probably not going to see much. You might see some rain mixed with snow, but that's about it. As you can see, the snow keeps going above these higher elevations here. The Wachitas, I think they have the best chance of seeing some accumulations at the highest elevations. Parts of northern Arkansas, up northwest Arkansas, that's a big question mark. I just don't think it's going to happen at this point. But like I said, there will be surprises. So if you are out and about tomorrow and all of a sudden you see some snow, consider yourself lucky. Okay. So this thing keeps going. This is 1 o'clock tomorrow, 4 o'clock tomorrow night. You see some of the higher elevation northern Arkansas is getting in on some action here, and then maybe some pockets. See, this is what I was talking about localized. You're gonna have pockets of snow, but then rain on the either side of it. Wherever you get these heavier banding that sets up, it's gonna bring that cold air down from the upper levels down and cool the lower levels of the atmosphere, and you may have snow all the way down to the ground for a time before it switches back to rain. There might be some areas to go back and forth. It just depends, okay? But the air above our heads is gonna be very cold, so it can snow at 35, 36 degrees, especially if you get some of these heavier bands that come in. Okay, so this thing gets out of here. You can see where there's rain, then snow, rain, snow. See, it's so localized, it's hard to pinpoint where this is going to happen. And this sucker gets out of here. I would not be surprised even in Louisiana tomorrow night, early Saturday morning, before the sun comes up. See these little blue splotches here? Would not be surprised to see a couple flakes mixed in with the rain down that way as well. So this thing gets out of here. Now, let's go to another model here. All these models and put them all together. I think this has a pretty decent idea of what's going to happen in the higher elevations of eastern Oklahoma into western Arkansas. The Wachitas here, and then far northwest Arkansas across the higher elevations. Maybe you get some snow up there, maybe a dusting, half an inch, maybe. So like I said, some people are going to see surprises, some people are not. So just keep that in mind. This is not going to be a big system at all. And then as this thing meanders all over the place. So it's actually bringing the way this model works, brings all the models together. So there is some models bringing snow into Mississippi and Tennessee, through central Tennessee and northern Alabama this weekend. Boom or bust. If you see it, like I said, consider yourself lucky. If you don't, you don't. So here's what the global model wants to do. It wants to bring this further north. This is 18Z. and give snow to far northwest western Arkansas. So, like I said, these models are all over the place with this. Like I said, this thing's going to dig, and then there's going to be a response off the coast here with low pressure developing. But the bad thing is you're going to get these surface winds come off this above normal water off the Atlantic Ocean here and change a lot of this to rain until this upper level low comes with this cold pocket that comes in. Now this is this model showing it could snow in Georgia, Atlanta. It just all depends. Like I said, all depends. All the models are all over the place. Now I wouldn't say there would be any accumulation in northern parts of Georgia, but there is a chance that you may see some flakes fly on early Sunday morning across Georgia. Now, let's just take a look. Let's just take a peek real quick at temperatures at this time. And they're in the mid to 35, 37 degrees. So, like I said, it can snow, especially with the upper levels being as cold as they are, okay? With that cold core coming across, you get a heavier band, you will get some of those snowflakes down to the surface, and you will have a little bit of dynamic cooling. That's why some of these areas around 35 degrees or so may have a better chance at that. Now, I think the better chance at accumulation is going to be up in the mountains here of basically the Carolinas up through Virginia, possibly northeastern parts of Georgia as well. So this is just one model solution. You can see where that cold core is. Now, like I said, the models are going to struggle. This might be up to a 12-hour before kind of thing where we try to nail down who's going to get what, because you saw what the system's doing out west. Like this time last night, if the track would have stayed true today, I was expecting a pretty decent accumulation across northwestern parts of Arkansas. And now it's just, like I said, it's just basically this is going to be a wait and see kind of game. But the chance is there across the Carolinas late weekend, okay? And there's going to be some freezing rain with this too, with cold air. You have northeast surface winds, this cold air damming basically banking up against the mountains here. The shallow cold air banking up against the mountains here with warm air overriding that air and that cold air at the surface. Freezing rain can break out as well. And then as this cold core comes across, it'll change a lot of this to either rain or snow. Okay. All right. The train begins, and I'll just show you what the GFS shows. And it's basically smacking the mountains of 6 to 12 inches. I don't buy any amounts right now. This models are struggling with this system. Even up to 12 hours before, they're still struggling. So this is going to be a wait and see kind of game, but the chances are increasing, especially across the mountains of the Carolinas and Virginia, far eastern parts of Kentucky and far eastern parts of Tennessee for some snow to happen or some wintry parts of this system to happen. Now, like I said, there's going to be freezing rain with this, and there's this could be if this freezing rain transpires, it'll if this comes true. A quarter to 3/4 of an inch of ice is possible, and that's enough to bring down limbs, power lines, tree limbs onto power lines, create some messes on the roads, secondary roads, near elevated surfaces. So, just fair warning up here across Virginia and east or western parts of Virginia into western parts of North Carolina with that cold air damming coming with this northeasterly winds and warm air coming up over that shallow cold air at the surface. All right. All right, now we need to talk about early next week, okay? Because we're going to have some severe weather to deal with again, and very heavy rain, possibly some significant flooding across the same area that got flooding yesterday. So here's a system this weekend, tracking out east, going to create a real problematic forecast out for the Carolinas. And then here comes this next bowling ball of energy that comes across, and look out. This could be really bad. Look at this. With this, especially in the upper levels here, this lots of energy here, and it's bowing out as well. There's going to be some severe weather across probably Missouri, Arkansas, eastern parts of Texas into eastern Oklahoma, possibly, and then spreading east. This is going to be Valentine's Day, by the way. Probably afternoon, evening. It all depends when this can come in, but if you have Valentine's Eve plans, you might want to keep an eye on the weather. If you live across basically Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, parts of Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, parts of Illinois as well, Missouri, possibly southeastern Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, for a possible severe weather outbreak next week. So just as an early look at this possible system for next week, there's going to be some snow on the backside of this as well, up here in probably from Oklahoma, Panhandle to Kansas, through Iowa again. And, and that thing gets out of here, and then here comes another system to come in mid to late week, and then the northwest flow starts really happening, and I'm going to get into that here in the supporter hub. But you can see the northeast, you're starting to get some flow out of the Arctic, and then you're going to have these systems dive in and come south with cold air around later this month. It's going to be very interesting across the area. Okay. Now, here's possible rainfall through this weekend. 2 to 4 inches of rain possible. South Carolina, Georgia, down through Panhandle of Florida. Another half an inch possible, or a little bit more across parts of Arkansas into Louisiana. It's just going to further moisten up the ground. And then here comes this next system coming out here out west into Tuesday. Watch this thing just blow up. So you can have some possibly some major flooding. We'll see how this plays out. But with that amount of energy coming in, and severe weather will be likely possible. Time frame to really watch is probably a Tuesday to Wednesday time frame for severe weather next week. Okay. All right, here's the WPC for the next week of precipitation. So this is what they're thinking. Like I said, 2 to 4 inches plus across the southeast. Most of this is going to happen between tomorrow's system and Monday, Tuesday, or the Tuesday, Wednesday system across the center of the country here, with another 1, maybe 2 inches of rain across that area. And that with the ground already super saturated, that's just going to run off in a hurry and create some flooding, more flooding problems across that area. Okay, like I said, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, that like button on YouTube. Share this with your friends and family. This link with your friends and family, and if you haven't subscribed, it is free on YouTube. Hit that all button on YouTube, and you will be notified every time, and I mean every time, we post content on YouTube. Facebook is still doing a horrible job. I posted earlier today about possible snow tonight. It was just a normal post. 1,200 of you saw it out of 117,000. So they're obviously we're having issues again. I'm trying as best I can to try to get you information. If you haven't seen anything, you need to search my page. I post at least twice a day. I've been trying to do a normal post in the morning and then a video with you all in the evening. Going to be a very active next week and a half or so, and then the Arctic may open up and that southeastern ridge is starting to break down as well. So yet again, I want to thank you guys so very much for your support. And like I said, I'm going to have some long range content. Look at late February into March for the supporters over the supporter hub on YouTube. I'm going to have a supporter hub over here as well on YouTube as well. If you haven't subscribed on Facebook, you can subscribe on YouTube. Hit that join button on my page on YouTube, and there's multiple different avenues of how you could support us on what we do for you. Okay. And then if I start getting some supporters over here on YouTube as well, I'll bring that long range content over to YouTube, and you will have your own. Basically, it's a community hub here for supporters. Okay, so this is another avenue to give you more information. We're trying to reach you the best we can with all the Facebook problems. So this is YouTube gives us another avenue to get you all information. Okay, all right, guys, stay safe. Somebody's going to see a surprise tomorrow. Not sure where it's going to be because I think if you're in the Ouachitas in Arkansas and Oklahoma, I think that's the best chance of accumulation. Light accumulations may be possible across the higher elevations in northern Arkansas tomorrow. Other than that, rain mixed with snow for the rest. Possibly just rain, possibly some snow mixed in. Like I said, if you see snow tomorrow, consider yourself lucky. If you don't get mad. I'm telling you, this is not going to be a big system. This thing's been a nightmare anyways. And it's going to create even more of a nightmare out towards the Carolinas. And I'll have more on that in the next few days. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.